Viking Preparedness. I'm Pastor Joe Fox. So, been a little light on the videos lately. One of the reasons, and I think I told you this, that we just had so much work to do. Another reason was it's so stinking hot that, you know, by the time I have a break, where I would normally take a break from work, sit down and shoot a vid, that I was thinking about. Now when I sit down, I just want to open up a cooler, get some ice out of it, drink cold water, and, you know, try and bring my body temperature down and make my head stop going woof, woof, woof. It's going to be 99 degrees tomorrow, I think. Woohoo! But why do I have so much work to do, right? Because really that's the key. I have so much work to do. It's self-imposed, right? We're kind of the masters of our own day out here. But I just feel a push, an unction from the Holy Spirit, a disturbance in the force, if you want to use that terminology. As a friend of mine said, a sense of urgency has descended upon me to get some things wrapped up and taken care of. Why? Hey, you know why. And I've done videos like this in the past. You know, I get comments on old videos. I have over 800 videos. I've been doing this for a couple years. And I get people who I think legitimately get on one of my old videos where I say, hey, something feels like it's fixing to happen. And then they say, this was 3 years ago, nothing happened. What do you think now? You're right. Nothing happened. I think about that. You know, okay, here's what I think. Preparedness is not something you can do in a week. Preparedness is not something you can do in a weekend. It is a lifelong quest, really, if you want to make it that way. It becomes a lifestyle of preparedness, and nothing is steady state, right? It would be nice if it was, but there's valleys and peaks and valleys and peaks, and I think every now and then our Creator was just giving me little taps on the head. Hey, get ready, do these things. That's what I think. Now, what you think may be something else. But I feel it again. I feel it strong again. Could it be just, you know, the election cycle and Russia and Turkey and China and yeah, it could be. Why are all those things like they are? You know, I don't know. I'm just telling you what I'm telling you. I'm not trying to stoke up the fear. I've got nothing to sell you. I'm just telling you where I'm at. And sometimes I feel responsible for you people who I don't even know. You know me a lot better than I know you, right? Because you've seen many of my videos if you wanted to. But I do feel responsible for you. And so sometimes when I feel like, wow, I think I'm going to ramp up efforts here at Shofar Mountain, I feel like, I ought to tell you that so that you can take that information and do with it what you will. So yeah, we're getting ready again. You know, we're peaking in other areas. And we don't do things like go out and buy a bunch of food and then eat it all and then have to go buy more food. Our basic preparedness is squared away. It's a requirement to come here. So we just constantly get little peaks where we go do other things. The chicken coop. You know, we only have a handful of chickens down in this coop, but that coop is built to support a much larger flock. Why? Because I don't think anymore in terms of keeping starvation away from the front porch for 2 weeks. I think about what are we going to eat next year, 18 months from now. If everything ends tomorrow, what are we going to eat next year? That's kind of where my head's at. And so that's kind of what we're trying to work on. So I just share that with you. I feel it. I know some of you do too. And I just encourage you, again, if you feel something, take action on it. You know, don't just sit there and go, oh, woe is me, and spend all your time on the internet typing to other people, what do you think, what should we do, da-da-da-da-da. Just do something, you know, take some action. That's what we've been doing. It's been keeping us very busy. That's the level of motivation I feel to get some things done. It's like, man, we got to get some stuff done. So that's what I've been doing. Timing. I can read in Ecclesiastes about, you know, there's a season, a time for this, and a time for that, and a time for this, and a season for this, and a season for that. And so what that tells you is that at one time it's a time for this, but then at another time it's a time for the opposite. And so gates open and gates close. Now, it could be cyclical. It could come back around to it's a season to do this again that, is now closed. Um, when we started Shofar Mountain, we were pretty open to visitors. Why? Because we were trying to grow. We were trying to get bigger. And then as we grew big enough for the initial, let's get this thing going, we started kind of becoming more particular, about who could come and under what conditions. And, we had an apprentice program for a while. And really our apprentice program was to help people learn how to live off-grid, live in community, that kind of thing, but also to kind of let them scope us out and us to scope them out to see if, they were a potential fit for Shofar Mountain. And then I did a video, I don't know, a while ago, not that long ago, titled Our Dance Card is Full, where I basically said, hey, no visitors this summer. We're done with visitors for a while. All the visitors that are locked in, you can still come. We're not accepting any more new people as visitors to come. Old friends are always welcome. Why is that? Quite frankly, it takes a lot of time and emotional energy to invest in new people. And we don't have the time right now. We don't feel that we have the time right now. And so we're moving forward kind of with what we have. I watch a lot of movies, probably too many. And The 13th Warrior, a weird Viking-esque kind of movie, or The Kingdom of Heaven, which is like kind of about the Crusades, or you watch like what was that? Was it Daniel Day-Lewis? I Will Never Leave You, or whatever. The Last of the Mohicans, those kind of movies. There's always a scene in movies like that where the bell or the gong or the horn starts blowing, ringing, or whatever, and all the outlying people come scurrying into the fort, and the gates are shut. And then they're prepared to repel invaders, right? And they're getting ready for whatever's coming. That's biblical also, right? There's people invited to a wedding feast, and some people come and some people don't, so they invite other people and other people come. And at some point, the gates to the wedding feast are shut. Or there's 10 virgins. They're all waiting on the bridegroom. 5 are wise and 5 are foolish, but they're all waiting on the bridegroom, which is kind of interesting. And at a given point before the bridegroom comes, 5 foolish virgins figure out, hey, we got no oil for our lamps. And so they ask the 5 wise virgins, hey, give us some oil so that we have our lamps lit when the bridegroom comes. And the 5 wise virgins say, no, you can't have any of our oil. And so the foolish ones have to go to those who buy and sell, and while they're out there shopping, the bridegroom comes, the gates are shut. Can't get in anymore. And if you take that analogy to other places of the word, there's wailing and gnashing of teeth for those who don't get in. What can you learn from that? There's time coming when the gate closes for good, right? And right now for this season, the gate here is closed, metaphorically speaking. Some of you, a few, I think, are looking to me and us at Shofar Mountain as your life ring, as your life buoy. I get some emails that just, pull at your heartstrings about how we've got nowhere else to go and we just need to come there and yada, yada, yada. And they think that, our job is to open up the gates and just let people that we don't even know come in. Sorry. My purpose on this channel is not to recruit for Shofar Mountain. My purpose on this channel is to inspire you to take action, right? Inspire you to form a group, to form a mag or a community or a bug out location or whatever, but for you to do the work, not for you to expect me and the Shofarians to do the work and you just plug in, right? I think most of you get that, right? Most of you do, and good on you. And, to those of you who get it, hey, look at what we do, take what is useful, discard the rest, take what you can use and don't worry about the stuff that you can't use, but then go do it yourself. You're going to have to. And speaking of the gates, I'm just getting this feeling like you don't have much time. And from the tone and the number of communications I get from people, I think I'm not the only one feeling this. But you're going to have to figure it out on your own. You're going to have to take some personal steps and actions. And quite frankly, those are the kind of people who are going to make it anyway. You know, people who make things happen, people who do stuff. You have to be a person who does stuff, not a person who grabs on to somebody who does stuff. That sounds harsh. I know. I'm going to get a lot of thumbs down. I'm just trying to give you the straight shot, you know. I said before, hope is not a method, and Christians took me to task on that. Blah, blah, blah. Take it in context with what I mean. And in this case, you're going to have to take some action on your own to get some things done. I'm trying to lead by example. I share with you, you know, some of what we're thinking and what we're feeling, not to scare you, but to give you more data in your head, because you're not just looking at us or me, right? You're looking at all kinds of things, and you filter it through your own experience, and then at some point you're like, yep. You look at your sweetie and you go, sweetie, we got to do something. We're going to do this, this, and this. I saw this there, I saw this there, I saw this here. Let's try and do that. And you can do it. Work with what you got, where you're at for now. You know, if you can move out of the cities, move out of the cities, move out of the cities. But don't wait till you move out of the city to do anything. I tell people about storing wheat, right? You can buy wheat very inexpensively at a feed store. You can buy wheat very expensively in number 10 nitrogen pack cans. Hey, I don't care how you get it, right? Get wheat. Grinders, good grinders are expensive. They're a couple $100s for a wheat grinder. Don't get your wheat grinder before you get your wheat. Don't say, well, I don't have any way to grind it. You do. You could use a brick on your sidewalk and grind the wheat if you had to. Just do it. Take some action. Get something done. If you don't have your flower gardens, if you live in suburbia or, you know, a place where you have flower gardens, some places in the city do. If you don't have tomato plants and stuff growing in them, shame on you. You know, start working on doing what you can do with what you have. I fear time is getting shorter. I'm just telling you what I feel. Do with it what you want. But please, take action. Cut me some slack if I don't do videos all the time, because there's probably a season coming when not only am I not going to be on YouTube, nobody is. There's a time coming when there's not going to be anything on the internet, because there will be no internet. That could happen. Get ready to be on your own. Try to be with other people, but have a plan right now for what you're going to do right now if something happens, and start working that. Don't hope for some future utopia thing. I hope that comes through. I care about y'all. That's why I share stuff. We're in for some interesting times, I think. Even so, come Lord Jesus. All right, I'll see y'all out there.